What's up, legalizers? I got an episode here for you, especially if you have a dispensary and you're going through some hell. We've been going through some for a while. We're going to go over a whole bunch of issues that you're going to find when you have a dispensary comes zoned. Very often you need a special use permit. So stick around to the end. We'll discuss special use permits. Let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen and then we can go through and start really picking through the weeds of how to get a dispensary zoned, the setback requirements, and even some hypocrisy, because there's also hypocrisy. It's the cannabis industry after all. Don't forget, if you enjoyed us, like, subscribe, and tune in on Sundays for our cannabis legalization news podcast. That may be it. I'm not sure if it is actually going to be it. We're going to take a shot, I think, on a special use permit for this location. We like it. Comparatively speaking, is it the best location for a dispensary? No, but you have to find a location that you can get zoned in the constraints that you have. And so we're going to go see it here in a minute, and then we'll keep you posted as to whether or not this becomes reality. Now, this is something that I need to share with you as well. This is a zoning tool that you can use. Every city has this. I'm just going to be using Peoria because that's my use case, but an abstraction of this use case can be any municipality, especially your municipality. They all pretty much follow this method in the sense that a special use permit is often required for proper zoning for your cannabis dispensary, especially in a limited license area. Maybe we should dive first before we go to the actual map here, which is the GIS map. These GIS maps are nationwide. It's not like my city or municipality is unique. It's just about 120,000 people. That's it. And so you can have every piece of property mapped in these GIS maps, and then you can do the setback requirements. And what do I mean by setback requirements? This is the ordinance. And so this ordinance has minimum distance limitations. And so these minimum distance limitations, AKA setbacks, commonly known as setbacks in land use or zoning and planning law, that is a distance requirement from sensitive locations. We are going to be talking a little bit about hypocrisy toward the end of this, where a school was involved. And what do I mean by school? Well, let's drill into it. Here is the definition. As you can see, this is a definitional in law, and very often you have them set off in parens and also quotation marks, and this is no different. So you have the paren, collectively referred to as quotation marks, schools. And what does that mean? It means this definition right here. Number one, 500 feet of the property line of any state licensed childcare facility, public, private, or parochial, elementary, middle, secondary, universities, post-secondary universities, facilities, or a building or a location used for the education or recreation of minors or young adults under the age of 21, collectively referred to as schools. That is so broad, it's like the Grand Canyon. Everything is now basically a school. I'm not going to, maybe we should go back to the zoning map and I can show you why we were not able to locate around the corner from a Binny's Beverage Depot. And if you're joining us from Florida, that'd be like a Total Wine. I'm not sure what the big liquor store in your neck of the woods is. Why don't you leave it in the comments? Tell me where you're from and what the name of the big liquor store is in your city. Hi, everybody. Okay, what you're looking at here is the heart, the artery, the main artery of Peoria, Illinois. This is our mall. This is a shopping center. We wanted to rent in it because right here in this building right there is a Binny's Beverage Depot, which does good business. And this is a little ATM right there. There's the mall. Here's our main highway, I-74. Lots of traffic goes in and out. And this little area right here was open. And so we were able to look at that. But right here, see where that white part is in the ceiling? That is a Chuck E. Cheese. And so that Chuck E. Cheese is a school. And it's from the distance of the property line. And you see how it's now highlighted in blue? That means that despite us being more than 500 literal feet away, because from the door of the Chuck E. Cheese all the way down and then through this and then back into here was more than 500 feet, but it's all in the same property line. So it's 0 feet away from a school being a Chuck E. Cheese. These types of things can happen to you. And you have to watch out for those zoning pitfalls. If you have any questions about it, come visit me over at cannabisindustrylawyer.com. Now, let me show you something else that's really fun about zoning. I am in Illinois, which is a limited market state, but it's also more limited than that because I'm also in Peoria, Illinois, which is a further limited market state. No more than 6 adult use cannabis dispensary conditional uses may be established within the corporate limits. Now, they do say that 3 of them do have to be social equity. We are one of them. I won't tell them that once the social equity license is open, they all have their ownership restructured. They'll find that out later when I tell them. However, this is another thing you have to understand. We are paying for being and able to conduct business operations within their city limits. Your first year, you have to pay $2,500. Your second year, $3,750. Your third year, $5,000. You know what a hemp shop has to pay? Zero. Nothing. That's what they have to pay. And remember that thing about the Chuck E. Cheese, how it was 0 feet away from where we wanted to open? Well, let me show you another school. Okay, let's talk about the hypocrisy of the whole thing. We have these setbacks. We have to pay these fees. We're limited to 6. Hemp doesn't have to play that rule. Let me tell you about another school that happened in Peoria, Illinois, that blocked a cannabis dispensary and what took its place. What you're looking at here is another artery in the city that has a Walmart. That's what this building is right here. Let me just click on it so that it'll highlight. There it goes. So that is the Walmart property. And locating your dispensary near a Walmart, not a bad idea, by the way. Right here is kind of like just a little strip of a building. And they have in there a shop that was supposed to be a dispensary. But you see this building right over here? That is a school. And by school, I mean trampoline park called Elevate. And so the kids go there, they jump on trampolines, they giggle, they laugh, they frickin' love it. Under 21, can't buy a beer there, unlike Chuck E. Cheese. And so somebody wanted to put a dispensary here. No, because you could draw a line from here. There's a feature in the GIS. That's one of the reasons why I use this tool, so that you can go from the property line to the property line of this other one. It'll probably be right there. So it's, however long a street is, 100 feet, let's say. Do you know what went in there instead of the dispensary, which would have had a security system, odor mitigation system, a recall plan, and required to check IDs and cards? A vape store went in there. Because you know what's more dangerous than cannabis? Tobacco. And so you have a tobacco store that doesn't have to follow these rules. And then what else do they carry? THCA hemp, which is weed. And then also Delta 8 vapes, which is synthetic weed. And they don't have to pay the $2,500, $3,750, $5,000 a year. They don't have these setbacks that go from being a school. So what, if anything, is being accomplished from these types of setbacks? Just hypocrisy. Just hypocrisy. That's it. Not only that, you know what the hemp company doesn't have to do? Pay the 3% on top of the regular sales tax directly to the municipality, like the cannabis dispensary does. So yes, there is hypocrisy in zoning. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean that my city's unique. It's not. Every city's like this, even yours. And if you need help, you know where to find me, here on Sundays. But let's go over what you are going to need once you have found a compliant location far enough away from a school and you want to shoot your shot. You're going to need to fill something like this out. And this is where it's going to start costing you time and money. And if you're like me and you're on a conditional license for your dispensary, those are things that are in short supply because you have to be operational within so many months. And when you shoot your shot like this, it could take, we're going to try to ask for 90 days contingency because we have to get the special use permit filed, complete it. Then we have to have a hearing, and then we have to go before the city council. And then you have to kind of like politic that city council to make sure that you communicate the value proposition of what your dispensary is going to bring to the community at large, especially in these limited market states where they assume that you're just going to make money, which may or may not be the case. Either way, you're going to have to put all the information about who owns it, how many parking spaces, the applicant information, representative of the applicants, and then they have the actual things that you're going to need. And so there's different ones. This one is a special use, a C. And so we need a completed application and fee. And then they need full-size site plan, building elevations, development code for site plan requirements, electronically formatted site plans, elevations in PDF format, and legal descriptions in MS Word format on a compact disk. Oh, this is an old form. Or appropriate digital medium. Yeah, it'll be a PDF attached as an email. Estimated traffic generation, refer to ITE standards. If the site property is zoned CG or C2, a development impact statement is required. Oh, I'm going to have to check the zoning on this. See page 3 or article 2.95 of the Unified Development Code for requirements. All of that is going to need to come in. Not only that, then we also have these 15 things, special use and non-conforming use change, all proposed in existing structures, points of ingress and egress, parking plans, site, sign plan, landscaping, lighting plans, special design treatment, boundary lines, easement locations, adjacent streets, open space, parcels dedicated and intended for public use for property owner, north arrow, development name, map scale, definition, data preparation, legal description, land use for all adjacent parcels, and any other information as requested by the zoning administrator to allow an accurate and complete review. That's right. You are in the highly regulated industry that is cannabis. And if you are watching this and enjoying it, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like it, and tune in on Sundays for the podcast so that you can stay abreast of cannabis legalization news. You're watching history whenever you tune in. See you next time.